All right, good morning, everybody. So, every morning we start our day out with completing a Nearpod on as far as our warm up, and then it helps us collect or gather information as far as our lesson notes. So, I'm going to share my Nearpod with you, and that way everybody gets logged in. All right, so this is the code. I already posted the link on the Google Classroom. And so you just enter in the code and you will, it will bring you here. So today's objective, in Anne Arundel County Public Schools, we use an I can statement. So I can analyze data to determine the carrying capacity of an ecosystem and explain factors that influence it. So our essential question of the day is, how do limiting factors determine an ecosystem's carrying capacity? Carrying capacity. So as you can see from our essential question that we're going to be learning about carrying capacity. So what I want you to do for the warm-up assignment is to watch, it's like a 30-second video on the overpopulation of white-tailed deer. And when you watch the video, you're going to answer a few questions, just 2 questions pertaining to the video. Now, to access this video, I want you guys to log in through your AACPS class link, and then you're going to click on Discovery Ed, and you're going to sign in using your AACPS login. Now, if anybody has any issues regarding logging into ClassLink, I know we had some students with issues with ClassLink. So I posted the video on the Google Classroom. All right, so the warm-up questions that you will be answering is, how can increases in populations affect the stability of an ecosystem? And why are there so many deer in this area? And why is it a problem? So I'll give you guys about 40 seconds to watch the video, and then about 2 minutes to complete the questions. All right, so 2 minutes have elapsed. So we should, some of the answers should look like, so how can increase in the population affect the stability of an ecosystem? Well, remember we talked about in the lesson before about biodiversity, and we talked about, biodiversity in an ecosystem. So we said that biodiversity means what? Remember, I told you to break down bio and diversity. Yes, so we know that bio means the study of life, and we said that diversity means what? A variety, right? So biodiversity would be a variety of life. And so it's asking, how can an increase in population affect the stability of an ecosystem? Well, based on the white-tailed deer, what did they say? That, okay, yes, so that the increase in their population, it basically affected the stability of their ecosystem because they were running out of resources, right? And then it says, why are there so many deer in this area and why is it a problem? Okay, so it talked about how it was overpopulation of the deer, and so they didn't have any predators. And so without any predators, you can't really have that checks and balance system with the ecosystem. All right, so moving on. Let's close that. So in carrying capacity, you guys will be exposed to 2 types of graphs. And so we will have our exponential growth, which is indicated right here with this curve. We call this a J curve, all right? So exponential growth is the rapid population rapid population increase due to an abundance of resources. All right, so remember this curve is going to go straight up. And then we have our logistic growth. Our logistic growth is indicated by, we call it an S curve, all right? And so this right here, it talks about how logistic growth is due to a population facing limited resources. And so up here, we say that this population has reached its carrying capacity. And we're going to learn about carrying capacity. So, carrying capacity is defined by the amount of organisms the environment can support without competition. So when organisms exceed carrying capacity, competition begins. So I want you guys to keep in mind that when it reaches its carrying capacity, it basically can sustain without any type of competition. So it has the right amount or the sufficient amount of resources. What happens when carrying capacity is exceeded? All right, so when a population exceeds its carrying capacity, the population may even out at its carrying capacity. However, when it exceeds it, we can have where the population would increase, and because of that, the population can eventually run out of resources because that population is increasing and they are consuming all of the resources that are available for them. But also a population may crash. And a population may crash, it will be indicated by a dramatic decline. And sometimes that occurs when there is like a natural disaster. All right, and so limited factors that limit growth population. So limited factor is something that keeps the size of a population down. And so our limited factors, which we're going to learn about, can affect it in a positive way or a negative way. All right, and so some examples of limiting factors will be natural disasters, competition, sunlight, predators, overcrowding, parasites, disease, temperature, and human activities. All right, so for this example, I want you guys to tell me, based on our drawings, can carrying capacity change over time? Well, we know that limited factors can alter the carrying capacity. So based on this drawing, the orange alien needs a lychee and a quib to survive. So what is the carrying capacity? Well, it needs a lychee and a quib to survive. These are our lychees and these are our quibs. It needs one of each to survive. So what is now the carrying capacity? Yes, everybody should have around 3. This population can only carry 3 aliens because it only has 3 quibs available. And so what is the limiting factor? The quibs, yes, because there's only 3 available. So that lets us know how many organisms can sustain or survive in this ecosystem. So this would be their carrying capacity 3, no more, no less. All right. And one more. A drought results in fewer lychees. And so we said a drought would be maybe a natural disaster, right? That would be a factor. And so a drought results in fewer lychees. So what is the new carrying capacity? So let's see. Here go our quibs here. We have 1, 2, 3 quibs, and we have 1, 2 lychees. What's the new carrying capacity for this ecosystem? It should be 2, yes, because we only have 2 lychees that can only support 2 aliens. All right, so what's the new limiting factor? The lychees. Yes, very good. Okay, so you guys will complete the worksheet that I posted on the Google Classroom about carrying capacity. And so let's do this real quick. This will be the worksheet that you guys will be completing. And so you're going to use the pictures below to answer the questions about carrying capacity. All right, and then after that, you guys actually have another assignment where you're going to complete a gizmo on the rabbit population. And so This is our student exploration sheet. You're going to complete a gizmo on the rabbit population by season. And remember, when it comes to gizmos, it's a simulation. So you actually have to go through it and manipulate it in order to produce results. Okay? Any questions? All right, so I want you guys to complete the worksheet with the buckets or the pails of water and the bowl with the goldfish. And then once you're finished with that, I am actually going to help you guys get set up on Gizmo. Some of you already are familiar with it from using it last year. And so I'm just going to go ahead and help the other guys get situated with the Gizmo. All righty. I'm going to stop presenting. Stop recording.